You're listening to the Westminster Canterbury Tales podcast, creating community to foster joy and well-being. Thanks for listening.
Eve McGrory here to pay tribute to my dear friend and talented writer, Goodwin, who passed away recently. Otherwise, she would have read this herself. For years, Dorothy Gray Goodwin single-handedly kept the WC Writers Group alive and well. Now, I'm hoping to keep her memory alive for you. Quote, "One for you and one for me. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but I'm limited to 500. Actual word count, 490. I was never the family photographer. That would be my husband, Bob, whose favorite camera was quite expensive. As a teenager, I was given a $5 brownie. My Polaroid was a gift also. In fact, I didn't need a camera. I could rely on Bob. Periodically, though, when we traveled, I wanted reminders of things that had interested me, so I began packing my Polaroid for vacation trips, which, to Bob's eye, produced grainy pictures. Also, the necessary bag of film was bulky. However, our trip to Russia won respect for my treasured Polaroid, even from Bob. This was the 1980s. Evidence of glasnost was everywhere, with young people huddled in small groups, anticipating big changes. For now, though, there was almost no merchandise on the shelves. People ran to join waiting lines, knowing something was available. More often than not, they had no idea what was being offered. They simply lined up for whatever it was. Bartering was a way of life. Although the Polaroid camera had been around for years in the U.S., it was a total curiosity in Moscow at that time. People were mesmerized seeing the photo produced on the spot, especially when it was a photo of themselves. On the street, people gathered around me as I took pictures of my audience. I gestured, one for you and one for me. Bob took pictures of me as I took pictures of individuals surrounding me. The crowd grew so large, the police came to investigate. I didn't understand Russian, but the hand signals were indisputable. Everyone cleared out. However, the fun was just beginning. We crashed weddings and dinner parties in our hotel. We were welcome everywhere with my one for you and one for me. I was proud of my grainy but interesting photos. Back at home, I filled albums of Russian strangers and treasured my memories. After Bob's death, I sold the house and moved to Virginia Beach. My travel journals, along with our photographs, were packed carefully into a large plastic storage box and placed in my apartment's walk-in closet. Being on the top shelf, they were difficult to take down, so I didn't check them until I was preparing to move. The upstairs neighbors, whose apartment was arranged like mine, had apparently experienced an overflowed bathtub, and water had dripped down to my closet. Although my storage chest had a cover, it was not a tight seal. Sadly, photo albums, including my Polaroids, along with journals of the exotic places Bob and I had visited together, were reduced to a box of mold. I deposited all into the dumpster. Those pictures of one for you and one for me were surely worth 1,000 words, but now only the words on paper survive. End quote. Not so, Dot. Memories of you also survive in the hearts and minds of WC writers and others who've heard your unforgettable words.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Westminster Canterbury Tales podcast. Thank you for listening.